Mindset blocks are what stop you from achieving your goals, and I will give you 5 tips to overcome them so you can achieve your goals. Do you ever find yourself getting too much caught into your own head? I know how it feels because I have been there myself. And while we all have a little bit of self-doubt sometimes, when it becomes an obsession or something that consumes our thought on a daily basis, then it is time for some action. The good news is that with the right mindset, anything is possible. That's why today we are going to talk about 5 tips that will help to overcome mindset blocks. They will help you to get rid of those pesky mindset blocks once and for all, so you can focus on making your dream come true. Before that, let's identify the main mental blocks that anyone can have. A mindset block is a mental or emotional barrier that prevents you from fulfilling your goal. They can come in many forms, mainly as a fear of failure, lack of confidence, or perfectionism. Sometimes they are subconscious thoughts, so it is important to be mindful about where this type of barrier are coming from and what triggers those negative thoughts. When you recognize the blocks for what they are, then it becomes easier to take action against them before they stop us in our tracks. Fear of failure. This type of blocker typically comes when someone doesn't feel confident enough already, yet which often leads to procrastination and giving up on their dream altogether because there is a fear of failure. Lack of confidence. This type of blocker can come from not believing in yourself or your ability, which lead to avoiding important tasks and goals you set for yourself. Perfectionism is the hardest one because this type of mindset block often comes with the feeling that we are never good enough, are too slow at completing things, and have high expectation of ourselves, which means there is always some kind of flaws or room for improvement, when all along it could be something small like feeling overwhelmed by an idea or task. The best way to overcome these blocks is firstly identifying what they are, so you know how to deal with them, then take action against them before they stop you in your tracks. The first step is to know yourself, and the second one is always being mindful of when you're feeling blocked. Next, identify if it's from a lack of confidence or really high expectation from yourself that are causing your block, because in order to overcome them, you will have to do something different depending on what they are. Once you identified what kind of mindset blocks you're facing, then walk through the following steps which give you some practical tips about how to deal with them. 1. Set realistic expectations. It is important to set realistic expectations for ourselves. If we are too ambitious, there will be a lot of pressure put on us, which can make it hard to stay motivated and follow through with our goals. It is so much easier when we know what the limits are from the beginning. In order to overcome high expectations, it is important to start by looking at the big picture and being realistic with our goals, and think what should be considered as a win. What is an acceptable amount of time for achieving the goal? Create goals that allow for room for improvement without setting too many standards or pushing yourself too hard. Not all tasks need 100% perfectionism, but sometimes having a few smaller goals that you can easily accomplish will help you give you a boost in confidence. Believe in yourself. Confidence issues, on the other hand, are difficult because there are no real rules or guidelines when it comes for overcoming them, but there are some tips that might work. One way to build up your confidence is simply reminding yourself of all the things you have accomplished in life so far, and how confident this task can make you feel. Another idea would be recognizing any small victories during the day. Believe that if you put the work, you will be able to overcome your mindset blocks and achieve success. When it comes to self-belief, there is no substitute for actually putting in the time and effort into making it happen. You have to show up every day with a strong sense of commitment and determination so that nothing gets in your way on the lifelong journey toward a success. It may seem like hard work at first, but after a while you'll find yourself excelling more than ever before. And once you achieve one goal after another because of these strategies, then everyone else around will start believing too. The power is within you. 3. Focus on the positive and not on the negative. This step in overcoming mindset blocks is to understand the difference between self-talk and reality. It is too easy to tell ourselves we are not good enough or capable when actually it is our own thoughts that are getting on the way. It is too easy to focus on the negative and what could go wrong. But those thoughts will stop you in your tracks before you've even begun. Instead of letting negativity hold you back, try focusing on how good it feels when you're moving forward. This mindset is where true success lives, so keep this in mind as motivation for taking action today. 4. Take baby steps to start achieving your goals. Start small. When we try to do too much, it is easy to want to tackle everything at once, but this is often overwhelming and leads to more negative self-talk. For instance, We might be tempted to say, I never get through all my emails, or it will take too long for me to catch up with my friends. Instead, this can be broken down into smaller tasks that are less daunting. For example, just dedicate 15 minutes today towards catching up with your inbox, then another 15 tomorrow, and so on. If you're feeling overwhelmed by the thought of taking on a big goal, start out with something small. Once this task is accomplished, it will show you that anything is possible and your mindset blocks won't be intimidating anymore. It is amazing what can happen when we take those first hard steps toward our dreams. 5. Surround yourself with people who are working hard for what they want in life. It is so important to surround yourself with people who are working hard for what they want in life. There will be a great source of motivation and inspiration, reminding you why it is worth taking the time every day to work towards your goals. Also, by surrounding with people who do what needs to be done, you will find yourself mimicking them. And as we say, we are the average of 5 people we hang out with the most. Those tips should help you overcome some of the mindset blocks you might be feeling. What are your best tips for overcoming mindset blocks? Share them in the comment below. Don't let any negative thought to get into your head and ruin everything you have been working hard to accomplish. You can do it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell, that way you will never miss a future video about personal growth. Thank you very much for watching.